Okay. Good afternoon. We have a update to the Aspen Acres Fire. First, we'll have speaking Incident Commander Jake Livingston, then Pueblo County Sheriff Dave Lucero, and then Kuster County Sheriff Rich Smith. We'll take brief questions at the end.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jake Livingston, Incident Commander with Alaska Team 1. We've had a very active fire over the last 24 hours, particularly last night between midnight and 4 a.m. That was due to really strong winds and really low humidity, so very dry out there, and some firefighters were definitely challenged. Those efforts last night were focused in the North Creek area, Salem Road, Colorado City, Table Mountain area, and their primary focus was point protection. Today, their primary focus continues to be point protection. However, they do have several bulldozers out there that are working portions of the southeast perimeter. They're looking for options there just to get around that edge. Engines and crews are working in the North Creek drainage, Salem Road, working that eastern edge of the perimeter, and then of course on the southern end around the communities Rye and in Colorado City. We have aircraft working the perimeter today as allowed due to smoke and wind conditions. So that aircraft work continues. We have been adding resources out as we go throughout the day. Those were resources we have ordered yesterday and the day before, so we're happy to see those firefighting resources arrive. Right now we have 6 hotshot crews assigned, 4 other hand crews, and 6 Type 1 helicopters, and then increasing numbers of engines. Working with the Sheriff's Department, the EOC, and the local fire departments, we've work to identify engines that are available tonight for night shift. I just want to speak to this coordination. It's really a key to our success, coordinating with all the local cooperators and agencies, but it'll allow us to be efficient and really manage firefighter fatigue. So we can identify which resources will be on night shift and which resources will be on day shift. And the numbers I'm hearing through this coordinated effort are between 25 and 50 engines. So we're happy to be working with everyone there. And then we'll just continue as an incident management team to provide information out to the public and all the cooperators. Thanks.
Good afternoon. I'm David Lucero. I'm the Pueblo County Sheriff. Today we have an update regarding the Aspen Acres Fire. A new interactive map that's displayed behind me of the Aspen Acres Fire impact zones is now available to the public that allows users to type in specific addresses. The map outlines the fire perimeter and evacuation areas and will be updated as information changes. Not all addresses inside the evacuation area are affected. This map is available on the puebloemergency.info website, and we have that on the Pueblo County Sheriff's Office Facebook and X social media channels. Please continue to check these resources for up-to-date and accurate information. The Pueblo County Sheriff's Office is notifying those whose addresses have been affected by the fire. That notification process already began yesterday. However, a dedicated team was formed today to help with the increased number of calls. Notifications will come from law enforcement personnel and trained volunteers, and those addresses where structures have been lost or severely damaged are being given the highest priority. Due to the overwhelming number of addresses evacuated, more than 3,800 thus far, we are asking for patience regarding the notification process. Thank you for your understanding. We know many of you are anxious to hear about your home and your property damage, and we want to give you that information quickly but accurately. Please also know that throughout the process of notifications, there have been interruptions in the identification of properties because of the nature of this fire. This fire has changed with winds, with the new evacuation areas, and with the growth overnight. I know that the notification process feels like it may be slow, but know that during this process we have deputies, officers, firefighters on the front lines that are actively fighting fire, physically evacuating individuals, and law enforcement is manning traffic control points. Command staff members and emergency managers are also continually evaluating the behavior and the growth of this fire. The Pueblo County Sheriff's Office is utilizing the Survivor Portal and the information provided at the Disaster Assistance Center, or referred to as the DAC. A Survivor Portal has been made available for individuals to register their property damages and to seek assistance. The Survivor Portal is not where individuals can seek resource assistance. The DAC has been established as an in-person location with 17 different resources that are available. I wanted to share that the DAC is located at the Pueblo Academy of Arts, formerly Pitts Middle School, located at 29 Lehigh Avenue in Pueblo. The DAC is a one-stop resource center set up to assist survivors with the recovery process. Please visit in person to get the assistance that you need. We're also getting a lot of requests for resources, especially related to evacuations with livestock or animals. There are 3 different phone lines available for donations, volunteers, and for rescue needs. If we have landowners and property owners that are able to coordinate land for evacuation, we ask that you reach out to the Pueblo CART team to make that notification so that it can be arranged. You can get those phone numbers on the Pueblo County Sheriff's Office website at puebloemergency.info page. The Pueblo CART livestock team is working tirelessly and very quickly to assist people. We do need your help. However, we do ask individuals who are bringing their own trucks and trailers to coordinate with the CART team. The CART team has a verification process for safety and precautionary measures with livestock and large animal transports. Safety is our #1 priority throughout this Aspen Acres fire, as with any emergency. We ask that good-natured volunteers trust the professionals with the plan we have in place and assist in those ways. I'd like to conclude by thanking you all for the support that we have received throughout the process and assure the public that we know we have additional support on the way. I'll share that the National Guard is being deployed here that will assist with our traffic control points, which will then allow my deputies and our emergency or our agency partners to patrol the area so that we ensure these evacuation zones can remain secure. I've said it before, and I want to reiterate that anyone who is a bad actor during this Aspen Acres emergency will be caught, arrested, and taken to jail, and later prosecuted. Now is not the time to take advantage of people who have already been affected by so much. Thank you all to our partner agencies, the Alaska Incident Management Team, the Kuster County Sheriff, and all of our agency partners, and the public outpouring of support. I had one final note that just came in and I wanted to share regarding the CART team and where livestock deliveries should be taken. And we're asking that all trucks and trailers enter the fairgrounds to please come from Beulah Avenue and head west on Small and enter through Gate 7. And with that, I will turn it over to Sheriff Smith.
Thank you. My name is Rich Smith, the sheriff in Kuster County, Colorado. And want to start off by saying that every single resource that can be put on this fire has been put on this fire or is en route. And I talked with one of the incident management team members, and they have 90 extra fire engines coming from as far away as California, Utah, and Grand Junction. In fact, they've actually pulled fire trucks off of those fires to come to us. And then one update that a lot of people have been asking about is Bishop's Castle. And at last, as I was walking in the door, they said the fire was about 200 yards or 2 football fields from Bishop's Castle, which is a really popular tourist attraction. I also want to fix what's not working, and I hear from the community that the speed of our communication is not fast enough, and so I want to work on getting more communication out to the community more quickly. But one of the things that slows us down is the need to verify information. And one of the Pueblo evacuation points includes the word Siloam Road. Well, there's actually a Siloam Road in Kuster County too that's in the same area. And there's another one for them on Silver Cliff Avenue. I have a town of Silver Cliff, And so read those messages carefully so that you don't get confused. And that's one of the things we're endeavoring to do. Earlier, I had brought in my deputies to do what I called a hasty damage assessment, because that's kind of what people want to know most, is if their house is okay. And we started working on that, and it just got too dangerous. In fact, one of the deputies put a video up on Facebook of a tree bursting into flames, and he told me, he's like, I don't know if I was going to make it out of there. And I was like, we're taking too many risks. We need to slow down. And so we have not completed that, and plus the fire kind of circled back and got some houses that we had marked safe. So going forward, we believe next Tuesday or Wednesday, when the incident command believes it's safe, we've actually employed our all-volunteer search and rescue team in Kuster County, which is a very well-known team, and they're going to be helping us do the access to do these damage assessments. Going forward, and then if you have been evacuated, either in Pueblo County or Kuster County, the first place you need to go is the Disaster Assistance Center, and that's what Sheriff Lucero said. And Kuster County, we actually have somebody for our road and bridge, our planning and zoning down there, and she has the county computer with the taxes and stuff on it to help identify people who may have lost their identification. If you lost your driver's license or birth certificate, they actually have people there who can get that process started for you. So that's step one. When you leave there, you're going to get a white card, and that white card doesn't give you permission to go back into the area. There'll be another card coming in the future, but the white card just kind of identifies you and gets you on our radar. You see the map up here, and I guess it's a technological hurdle, but the blue dots are from Kuster County, and so our GIS people had to get something sent over, and they combine them, and I think it's working pretty good now. So this map should be where you can go to get the absolute latest information. You can click on your own address and see if it's in an area that the fire went through. Doesn't necessarily mean that there's damage, or if you're just in a general evacuation area. Going forward, I would like to beg every one of the people who's watching this, please do not use fireworks this weekend. Don't start bonfires, and don't even cook out s'mores. And I know that's a very popular tradition for many people, but it's completely unsafe to do that at this time. I also want to say that Kuster County is open for business. And so we have businesses in Silver Cliff and West Cliff, and all of those businesses are owned by mom and pop. And 4th of July week is one of their biggest weeks of sales. And so you still can come to West Cliff by using Highway 69 from Fremont County or Highway 69 from Huerfano County. I am discouraged, because I had hoped that we would get the fire put out in days and the people back in their home, and now that's going into weeks or longer. But I want to encourage you to not be discouraged. These guys are working very hard. They're doing as much as they can, and you'll start to see those containment numbers, move up as they get more on the more equipment here to the fire. And then I'll end up with one last remark. Is counting Kuster County and Pueblo County, we've evacuated, I believe, 11,000-ish people, and we're getting into that number, and they're here in Pueblo, and so look out for one another. And if you own a business or a restaurant, these people are going to be coming in and needing encouragement from you. And also give a little bit of extra patience for the people who are working the front line, the firefighters and the police at the roadblocks and different things, and they've been there since day one. And they're working very hard, and they don't have the information of when you can get back to your house and everything, and we're trying to get that out as quickly as we can. So again, the first place to start is the Disaster Assistance Center. If you're from Kuster or Pueblo County, you've got to go first and get a white card. And we have people there that'll help you, people from the insurance companies and different offices and different charities all in one building. So thank you very much.
We'll take some questions. And we just ask that you use the mic to speak into so those with the live broadcast can hear the questions.
Hi, Clea West in the Gazette. I just have a question in general. Is there any update to the acreage, containment, or structures that were damaged? And then specifically for the incident commander, this is the 5th day of fighting this fire. Are there any reasons for optimism to get any containment over the weekend? I know that the weather is changing a little bit, maybe for the better. The National Weather Service in Pueblo, I know, has been talking about some flash flooding threats of already burned areas. Could that hinder firefighters? Just kind of walk through that.
Yeah, so I'll start by referencing the acreage. The most recent updated acreage I have is 66,895 acres. However, with the fire of this size and the very active perimeter, that's constantly changing, increasing. And I'm not immediately updated when aircraft fly over it and get those new updated perimeters. So that's the last I have, but stay tuned for more on that. In regard to possible changing conditions. Yes, we're hopeful that the weather turns more toward a monsoonal flow, but we have quite a few days left before it moves fully into that weather pattern. We have still quite a few days of high winds and dry air conditions, and just the fuels and vegetation out there are under drought conditions.
Jake Collier there, Bill Folsom with Channel 5. Is it unusual to have people overnight? I've been to fires before where they pull people off in rugged terrain and say it's too dangerous to be out there. And in that, can you explain what point protection is? Is that part of working overnight?
No, so it is for night shift. We just evaluate the conditions and make sure it's safe for the firefighters to work throughout the night. As far as point protection, that means focusing on the residences specifically in the adjacent buildings versus going direct, attacking the perimeter of the fire. Right now, the rapid rate of spread with the fire and the conditions just aren't allowing us to be able to keep up with the fire.
So point protection is protecting homes then?
Yes, protecting homes and other infrastructure.
And Jake, Austin Sack with Fox 21 News. You mentioned firefighter fatigue. I hope you could just expand on that a little bit further, what you've heard from the crews and just their message maybe to the community. And to speak on that, just how much this fire has grown overnight in your experience. Is that common? I know we've talked about extreme fire behavior. Did you expect it to expand over 10,000 acres overnight?
So fire conditions like that are not unheard of, but it takes the conditions that we're seeing here to make something like that happen. There was no relative humidity recovery overnight, and then the winds picked up out of the north, and it really picked up in activity quickly, and we had to move people around and prioritize where they're going to be. So it was unexpected. As far as firefighter fatigue, it's 5 days into this incident, and people have been running long hours and in hot conditions outside their normal sleep patterns, and that adds up over time, right? But as we get more resources in, we can start to manage that by creating a night shift and a day shift, and then having people specifically assigned to those operation periods. So then when they're off shift, they can catch up on sleep and get good food, that sort of thing.
Hi, Mackenzie Stafford, KRDO 13. How should residents find out about evacuations when they're coming down in the middle of the night? Like last night, midnight, 1 a.m. And what's the best way for people to know when they need to leave their homes?
I think I'll refer to the sheriff on that one.
Thank you for the question. So we are utilizing your iPhones and your Androids as well. So when you're entering that area, you're going to get those alerts. I've been back and forth several times, and every time I re-enter that area, my phone's buzzing and I'm getting those emergency alerts. So that's especially helpful when we have people coming from out of town that may not live in the area. They're receiving those firsthand on their devices. I also wanted to clarify one other piece, because I wanted to dispel some rumors that have been circulating as far as Pueblo West and the city of Pueblo possibly being placed on a pre-evacuation. That's simply not true. The fire, as it relates to Pueblo West, is 6.7 miles from the edge of the fire to Highway 96, the west entrance to Highway 96 wildlife area. And it's 8.6 miles from the Arkansas River or the Pueblo Reservoir nearest to Pueblo West at West Avenida Del Oro. In respect to the city of Pueblo, the edge of the fire, South Water Barrel Road at Burnt Mill Road and St. Charles River, it's 11.2 miles at Highway 78 west to the landfill exit, and 12.3 miles to Highway 78 at the southwest corner of El Camino. There's also been mitigation factors that have been done by the city of Pueblo, expanding some of those areas should the fire shift. That said, they're not on a pre-evacuation notice, but we have seen some things that I've never seen in 26 years in law enforcement with the behavior of this fire. You should have a plan and you should be prepared. If that call does come, even though it's not on a pre-evacuation, we want to make sure that you're thinking, because this thing has shifted several times. This has been an active fire for the last 24-hour period. we're used to, Mr. Folsom, you know, those evenings, being able to pull resources off of fires and getting our people some downtime. They haven't rested. Last night we sent an evacuation, and it's the first time we've had to do night evacuations in the middle of the night in the Colorado City area. Certainly something that's unprecedented and something that we haven't seen.
Hi, Justin, Pueblo Chieftain. I was just wondering if we had a rough estimate of how many structures have been destroyed. Thank you.
So I will say that we are in the process of notifying 157 that we have in Pueblo County, but this is specific to the Beulah Valley, and that assessment is roughly of 60% complete. With respect to Colorado City, Siloam Road, those areas, we have not had the opportunity due to the fire conditions to get a good, accurate assessment.
Bill Folsom again. Can I ask about Pueblo Reservoir? It is, 4th of July is often the busiest day of the year out there. I hear we're doing dips and getting water out of that to fight this fire. Is there gonna be a conflict with that, or we've left a message with Parks Department that they haven't called us back, so seeing what you know.
I'll let the incident commander talk about what resources they're using for water.
So our operations commander is working with state parks to create a corridor on the reservoir for the scooping aircraft to come down. So they just create a corridor where boats aren't allowed into so they can scoop off the lake and safely operate.
Clea West in the Gazette again. I'm just wondering, there's some signs on the interstate saying that Interstate 25 may have possible closures between Pueblo and Walsenburg. Can someone speak to whether that's likely and whether that's because of the fire itself or the smoke caused by it?
So those are staged in case we need them in the event that this fire shifts again, and we have travel or safety concerns for that traffic that's going down I-25. And if we have a shift that prompts us to close those are already pre-staged so that we can set those up rapidly.
And I will add that part of the decision that goes into making evacuation is so that we still give people a chance to get out of there before a major thoroughfare gets closed. And literally as I walked in, I got a text message from my team that the fire had approached within 1 mile of Highway 96, which is our major thoroughfare into town. So it just moves quickly.
I just want to clarify something about the acreage here. Kuster County Sheriff's Office had posted 74,000 acres. Where do we stand? What's the latest there? And in addition, at what point can you turn from point protection to fighting the fire lines? Like, what conditions allow for that? Thank you.
Concerning the updated acreage that you provided, that is likely the most accurate. Mine are from greater than 12 hours ago. Once the weather conditions change and become more humid, less winds, that's when we'll be able to turn away from point protection to actively engaging on the perimeter. And then also what goes along with that, as we have more resources arrive on the fire, we can start looking at things like that.
Thank you.
So we did get some questions, and I wanted to clarify again with respect to the fire behavior at the farthest edge or the closest edge to the city of Pueblo, and that was 11.2 miles to Highway 78 at the landfill exit, but it's 12.3 miles to Highway 78 at the southwest corner of El Camino. So it's further in, it's 12.3 miles to touching that edge of El Camino. We have time for one more question.
My question is for Sheriff Lucero. Obviously, we heard from Governor Polis yesterday talking about funding, now knowing that this fire is among the top 10 largest in our state's history. I'm just curious, between your office and working with the other agencies, in talks with Governor Polis, potentially, making this a further national disaster, is that obviously something on our radar? How are you guys communicating with that after his visit?
So we have had great conversations with our local, our state, and our federal partners. FEMA is involved in this incident. Congressman Hurd was down and toured the area, as did Governor Polis, so that they could get an eyes-on assessment on the needs that this community may need and continue to need, because this fire is still 0% contained. So we're counting on those partnerships and that leadership to continue to spread that message. I would also share that our Board of County Commissioners, our mayor have all been involved with this as far as making sure that we have resources that are allocated for the staff, the men and women that are working these events, not just law enforcement. We have a lot of public works officials that are out there that are just as important, CDOT employees that are helping us with this. We will get our contingent of National Guard that are going to take over TCPs, which will provide some much needed relief for our men and women that have been on the fire since day one. So we're hoping to get a little rest. Most of our staff have been working on between 22 and 23 hours a day. So if I look tired, that's why. Thank you all for coming.